Most cultures have a different view on what God is. Christians, for example, deny the existence of Hindu gods and Mayan gods. Would you consider Christians atheists in that they deny the existence of the gods of other religions?
Oh, that's a very interesting question. Well, they're monotheists, so they believe in only one God. Whereas, it's a bit controversial whether Hinduism, which has many gods, are just all the representation of the main god, Vishnu, but it comes in different forms, different goddesses, and I have a Lakshmi around my neck, who's the goddess of beauty and wealth. And so, that's a very interesting question. I mean, they're not really atheists because they do believe in one God, and they're just denying the existence of other people's representations of God.
Well, if that is the word we want to use to explain not believing other gods, because I believe even in the Hindu religion they all say God. So now, if their definition of God is the Hindu God, then yeah, you can say Christians are atheists towards that religion. But if the same God is, if we are all talking about the same God, the big G God, then I wouldn't say Christians are atheists against other religions. You can also go back and say the other way. So they can also call the Christian God a small God. Okay, there's no small God or big God here. You're talking about one God. And if it's the same true God and it's a common God, then I don't think Christians are wrong if they think Hindus are atheists. You know what I mean? They are atheists towards the Hindu religion or any other religion for that.
I don't consider them atheists. All I know is one God. And each person may call him a different name, but it's one God. There's no Hindu God, there's no Buddha God, there's no whatever God they want to call him. It's one God, one creator.
So does that not make you an atheist in a way because you deny their gods?
I didn't deny their gods. I say it's one God. You are a daughter of another person. I am a daughter of another person. That doesn't make us different. We're still a daughter of a woman and a man. So I didn't deny anybody anything. We're all same people. Our belief is just different. And you may call your God whatever you want to call him, but I know it's only one God. So I don't say you're an atheist, or anyone is an atheist because of what they believe.
Oh yeah, I would, because I think to some degree all religions have an atheist point of view, right? Because even though all religions are affirming that there is a God, right? What they're doing is that they're denying the existence of other gods, like Hindus and what else? Allah, for example, right? So yeah, I would consider them atheist, right? Even though they do believe in a God, they're denying the existence of other gods.
Prove God's existence.
Prove it. The air I breathe. Look out there. Can you tell me what's going to happen tomorrow? Do you know what's going to happen the day after tomorrow?
Nope.
None of us knows. But grab a Bible and read, in the end days, Revelation. And do not grab it and read it without any thoughts of judgment or prejudgment, so to speak. Grab any portion of the Revelation and read it. And it will truly tell you this book was written years back. And you can tell how it's even today's things or lifestyle is orchestrated in the book. I believe that God is alive.
My Bible tells me so, and everything around me tells me there is a creator. It wasn't created by man, it was created by God.
I mean, there's like, stories. If you were to like look at my religion, there's some stories, miracles, all this. Like, where does it come from, That's like God, if something happens, we say it's the will of the God. You can't really prove it now, unless it happens to yourself, Like, obviously,
some people say seeing is believing, but in our religion we can't see our God, but we can. We have the feelings. The feelings are there. what God does for us is there, and God sent us a book, the Holy Quran. It's there. Like the Quran hasn't been changed, and it's been there for I don't know, I really don't know how long.
Yeah.
It's been there for like ages now, and it hasn't been changed. And we follow the Quran and we follow the Prophet Muhammad. That's what we follow. We have no proof of it. I can't tell you like, yeah, I'll show you my cell phone or picture or something. I can't. You know, we have no proof of it, but that's what we believe.
I mean, like,
How do I do it? Well, God is made in we are made in God's image, right? So a part of us is always with Him, or a part of Him is in us. I mean, so if we see each other, we see a little bit of God's creation. Like anything we see a little bit of God, since God made everything, every living thing. So like the teacher you see, the students you meet, the trees, those are all God's creations. That is how God is revealed.
At the end of our interviews, we realized that most people are theists in that they believe in a form of God or goddess. On the other hand, they show atheistic characteristics in which although they believe in their God, they deny those of other religions. However, after suggesting that they may be atheists in that sense, they strongly rejected the idea and continued on praising their deity beliefs.
Well, half of the people we interviewed declared that if their belief that a supreme being really exists were proven wrong, it would devastate them. The other half stated that although they would be sad, they would continue on living life the way they had lived it because it made them happy. With that in mind, our research showed that the majority of atheists have a higher percent of committing suicide and harming their bodies through the use of different vices than those who have some sort of belief in God.
Our interviewees continued on to deny Freud's claim that God was an invention that we created to satisfy our craving for authority, stating that the existence of a supreme being, whether it to be God, Allah, or any other deity, was not just an invention, but instead the truth. They feel as it would be impossible for mere humans to create the idea of such a majestic divinity. However, one man supports Freud's statement, believing that we created the idea of God because we crave attention, and we wanted to acknowledge the fact that we are ideal beings, where we were created in the image of perfection.
Though people could not prove the existence of God through their senses, they all claim that they can feel the existence of a higher deity within them. They don't need any physical evidence to prove to them that a higher being truly exists. To them, it all depends on their faith.